As we heard earlier, a nuclear agreement between Iran and world powers has come into effect on Sunday. Tehran will begin what's being called the biggest nuclear dismantlement in history. Well, joining us now to discuss this further is Middle East security analyst Arash Aramesh. Sir, thank you so much for joining us here on Al Jazeera. So today is the day, well, Sunday, if where you are in the world is still Sunday. What are we actually going to see over the next few months? Because, of course, it's not actually the full implementation day. So what are the steps we'll see from today?
It's not full implementation day yet, but the game day has started. The referee has blown in the whistle, and now we have to see that both sides carry out what they've promised that they're going to do, and also we're going to see what commitments and at what point and at what level they're going to actually fulfill these commitments. First and foremost, it's Iran. The ball is in Iran's court. Iran has to take actions to move ahead with lowering enrichment, stopping enrichment, and also making sure that the promises that were made, for instance, dismantling the Arak facility, the plutonium, the sort of heavy water reactor there, actually goes forward as according to plan. On the other hand, the Iranians, especially the government of President Rouhani, is very anxious to get sanctions relief as soon as possible. Iranian elections, parliamentary elections are coming up soon. His whole agenda was to get sanctions relief and to also improve the Iranian economy. That has concerned, that has worried some leaders in the West that Iran is perhaps moving a little too fast to get sanctions relief. But we also have to see what Washington and what Brussels and what other European capitals are willing to do to address that.
I mean, of course, in the region, so much is changing all the time, even since July 14th, which is the sort of 90 days from when the deal was actually agreed. For example, we're seeing Russian involvement, direct Russian involvement in Syria. I mean, looking, I guess, at the world now as opposed to 90 days ago, are the pieces still in place for this nuclear deal to be a success, or do you think the complications are making it less likely?
You know, the two sides, the P5+1 and the Iranian side, insisted that the nuclear deal was being negotiated in vacuum. They're not going to talk about human rights. They're not going to talk about Iran's involvement in Syria or Iran's involvement in Yemen or Iran's proxy war with Saudi Arabia or Qatar, for that matter. But we all know that there were some side talks that were conducted during those talks. However, the aim of the Obama administration, the goal and the objective of the Obama administration is to make sure that this nuclear deal goes ahead, is implemented and enforced as a very separate matter, as sort of in relations to the Syria affair or to crisis in Yemen. Iran has certainly stepped up its involvement in Syria. We now know that there are no longer just advisors on the ground, but they're actually combat forces, ground troops sent by Iran. Russians are targeting various target packages in Syria, in Hama, in Homs, in Idlib, and in parts of Hasaki. So we see that there has been a lot of movement, not just by the Iranians, but also by the Russians, who are part of the P5+1. That does put a lot of pressure on President Obama. Also gives a very good talking platform to President Obama's critics back home that you made a deal with a regional giant that is now going to get $150 billion in aid and now sending troops directly to Syria to prop up the government of Bashar al-Assad.
I mean, I guess the thing with this deal is that it certainly had a lot of detractors. For example, we know that Israel's very unhappy about it, and lots of other players in the region. Ultimately, do you think, and I know it's hard because it hasn't been implemented yet, could this be the game changer that I guess the Obama administration was hoping that it might be?
The hope within the administration was this. Hopefully, in the next 10 and then 15 years, while this deal is sort of going to survive, last, and be implemented, we can monitor Iran. We can make sure Iran doesn't go towards rapid enrichment and nuclear weaponization. At the same time, let's hope for some sort of a regime, if not a regime change, but a change in the nature of the regime, a regime that is less hostile, a regime that doesn't sponsor terrorism, a regime that does not fight American interests on the ground, and perhaps a regime that the U.S. can work with. However, as you know, that concerns, that worries Saudis and Qataris and other Arab countries in the Persian Gulf.
In one word, are you optimistic?
I'm very cautiously optimistic, but I am.
Okay. Arash Aramesh, National Security Analyst. Sir, thank you so much for having joined us. Thank you.